So, niche designer, Middle Eastern perfumes. Here's my review.
Hola friends, mi gente, ¿cómo están? How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. I'm hanging in there. I am doing okay. It's been a few days since I've filmed. It's been very, very busy at work. Super, super busy. And you know, it's like these days are just, I can't really decide if they are flying by or if they're dragging. I don't even know. I don't even know what is time, right? What is time? Pero it's springtime and the days are getting longer and the sun is out and there are quite a few new fragrances that have made their way into my collection. And I want to talk about them, right? I'm trying to make sure that I am adding fragrances that I can use in the here and now because they're going to be more geared towards spring and summer. So like the Musk collection from Gulf Orchid that we talked about previously, to me those are very clean, very light, very airy, powdery, perfect for spring and summer. I know there's some releases that have come out that I'm interested in, but a part of me is like, how easy are they going to be to wear when the weather starts warming up, right? Like Latafa is about to drop their new Hamra. I forgot what the name of this particular Hamra is going to be. And it sounds super interesting. I love a spicy perfume. But a part of me is like, is it something that I am going to wear right now? But then again, maybe it would be nice to buy it now. And if it needs to sit for a little bit, let it do that. And it'll be ready to go by the time fall comes back around. Let's not even talk about fall, please. We've barely gotten rid of winter. One of the fragrances that I picked up hoping that it would be a little more geared towards spring and summer is Honeyed Fantasy from Pandora Scents, which is part of Paris Corner. So here's what the box looks like. You can see that it has like a honeybee. There's a bee there. And you see like the honeycomb as well. On the back is the Paris Corner design or hologram. Anyway, yeah, so that's Honeyed Fantasy. It's an eau de parfum. And so that's the box. Again, just a regular box. I picked it up on Aroma Concepts. And here is the bottle. The bottle is very nice as well. Super weighty. This has some really nice weight to it. You can tell that it's painted yellow and then it has the gold like honeycomb shape. You can also see the little bee there. It has a little bee. The cap is plastic. It's not very weighty. And let's go ahead and spray this. So I've had this perfume now for over 2 weeks. Over 2 weeks. And I can tell you that when I first got it, I found the opening, the middle, very abrasive, very honestly unwearable. It was unwearable to me and it was disappointing because I have been wanting to add a honey perfume to my collection. And, you know, I was like, oh, wow, Honeyed Fantasy, this is going to be so nice. The advertising, again, that AI advertising on Paris Corner was so pretty. But yeah, it was unwearable. To my nose, completely unwearable. When I got it, there was only one review on Fragrantica. It was not very kind. The person said that it smelled like tiger balm. To me, it was also a very medicinal type of scent. I did not get the sweetness of honey. I didn't get even like, let's say, some grassy tones that honey can have sometimes, you know. It just smelled like mothballs, very camphorous, even kind of mentholy. It smelled like something you would wear for joint pain, to be honest with you. And I was like, oh, no. So I've waited. At this point, we've been waiting 2 weeks. I didn't want to speak badly about it because I said, you know what? Maybe it just needs some time to mature, to get some oxygen, to further develop. This particular bottle that I have was made in December of last year. So we're already like 3 months ago, maybe 4 months ago, right? January, February, March. 3 months ago. Anyway, clean perfume girly paper. Let's go for it, right? Let's spray this on paper. Let's give you some atomizer action. Very strong. Let me not do too much of it in case it has not changed that much. We're gonna put some on the back of my hand. Now, the first time I experienced this perfume, when I tell you that the opening, the mid was not very, I'm not gonna say it was extremely unpleasant. It just wasn't wearable. To me, it did not smell like something you would use to perfume your person, you know, to perfume your body. So I didn't really want to wear it. And I said, let me give it a chance. Let me let it sit. So let's see where we are today. This fragrance, in a way, it's pleasant to me, and I'll tell you why. It's the beauty of perfume and of scents. It reminds me of my grandmother. And the reason it reminds me of my grandmother is because it reminds me of her armario. And an armario is a, what do you call an armario in English? It's where you keep your clothing, you know, but it's a wardrobe, which they're not very common anymore, right? So it's like a standing closet, but it's made out of wood, and it has doors, and you open it like if it's a cabinet, but it's for clothing and linens and stuff. It was, you know, her armario, her wardrobe. That's where she would keep her bedding and her clothing, and it had mothballs. It had mothballs or camphor balls that were put in there to keep insects out, to stop them from eating her papers. She also kept her photographs and stuff in there. So whenever I would open that armario and I would dig through her things and play with her stuff that was in there, everything smelled of camphor. Everything smelled of mothballs to protect the stuff that was in the closet. That armario was also lined with this other wood that we have that's called guava. And I think guava, I don't know how you say it in English, but that wood also has a very particular smell. And if I remember correctly, it also had some properties of keeping like insects and stuff like that away. So that's what this perfume is reminding me of. My grandmother also used to cook outside on a fire pit, and you use wood obviously, but you would light the wood with pieces of guava because it's a pine. It's a Caribbean pine, and it catches on fire very quickly because I guess it has like an oily type of resinous nature to it that makes it very flammable. This is what this perfume is reminding me of. And guava used to be used by Taino indigenous in the Caribbean, and they also would create medicines out of it, including medicines for joint pain. So that's another way that guava brings this medicinal type of memory to mind, and that's what I'm picking up in this perfume. It has a very medicinal nature. Now, I'm liking it because it's bringing back a lot of childhood memories. This is very camphorous. This is very mothball-like. Even like the you know, the packets that you hang in the closet, they even have like their own little hangers so you can hang them in between the clothes so moths don't come and eat your clothes. That's what I'm smelling, mi gente. I am smelling something kind of piney, woody, minty, camphorous, medicinal. I am not getting honey. I'm not getting honey. I'm getting green. I'm getting resinous. I'm getting piney. And that's it. Let's read the notes for this fragrance. It unfortunately has not changed very much. Now, here's the funny thing about this perfume is that once you get to the dry down, I'm talking about an hour in, it turns into a really lovely, powdery finish. There's still like a medicinal quality to it, and I would say you can kind of even smell more than honey. I would say beeswax, like a beeswaxy scent mixed with a powder. It is not unpleasant, but do I want to smell like that in a perfume? Like, do I want to perfume my body that way? Not necessarily. And again, we are 2 weeks in since I've gotten this. I have cleaned out the pipette a few times, you know, sprayed it out, keep that oxygen getting into the bottle. So let's see, mi gente. Paris Corners Honeyed Fantasy. Top notes: cinnamon and honey. Middle notes are vanilla, leather, and myrrh. And the base notes are patchouli, agarwood, amber, and oud. Now, vanilla. Something is keeping this sweet, right? So it has, and powdery. So that might be, I don't know what's making it powdery. That might be perhaps the honey and the vanilla giving this sweetness, right? Maybe the leather is giving it a drier quality that to me I'm interpreting as powder, but it's just a dryness, right? There is something myrrh-like, incensey about it. Also, again, like a medicinal smoky type of quality. Cinnamon, would I have easily distinguished cinnamon? No. Oud, not the way that I'm used to smelling oud in these Middle Eastern fragrances as I've come to know them thus far. There is a woody presence here. To me, again, it reminds me of guava, which is a Caribbean pine. And patchouli, there's an earthiness here that I associate with patchouli. But mostly I am still picking up on medicinal, camphorous, mentholy. That could be the myrrh. I don't know what's giving it that nature. I truly don't. But it's again, to me, not completely unpleasant because it brings back memories. But it's not necessarily something that I want to spray myself so that I can walk around smelling like a wardrobe that's protecting itself from mothballs and from moths. No. But there is still something pleasant to me. It's bringing back memories. Friends, it hasn't changed that much. It has not changed that much. Let's see what folks are saying. Initially, I said that this was a promising composition. I love cinnamon and honey. But again, it draws very camphorous, even though there is like a soft, powdery essence at the bottom. Yeah, and this was 2 weeks ago. And we're still pretty much still there. I said I'd come back around to it in 2 weeks, and here we are, and nothing has really changed that much. This other person said, biggest perfume by regret of my life ever. This smells exactly like Tiger Balm. And then the only other review here is someone that says, I agree with the other reviews that there is an astringent aromatic quality coming through in a strong way, somewhere on the spectrum between piercing spearmint and medicinal cardamom. Behind that, I get leather like a new handbag. They're saying that, and now I can kind of see, I can kind of get that, like a new leather handbag type of smell. Ah, look at that. They unlocked something in my nose. And then they also say, no doubt my bottle needs to sit and develop. Hopefully in the coming weeks, it will come up together. So we all seem to be getting this medicinal type of quality from this perfume. Obviously 2 weeks is not long enough for it to change sufficiently where I would feel comfortable wearing it. This one is still going to bake a little longer. It's going back in the box. It's going back in the dark. I will pull it out every few days and again just spray it to get more oxygen in the bottle. But right now, this to me is like a 4 out of 10. And again, not because it's smelly or stinky or unpleasant, but because it does not have the vibe of a perfume. It has the vibe of a medicine. It has the vibe or quality of something that's meant to protect clothing, you know, something that stops your joints from hurting. That's where we are now with Honeyed Fantasy. But I still have high hopes because it's not completely unpleasant. And so let's see. I'll have to come back to it and revisit. And hopefully it will change for me and it'll change for the other folks that aren't finding it to be what they wanted it to be. Honey, cinnamon, beautiful, sweet, grassy tones from honey, you know, the sweetness of honey. I'm not getting that right now. Friends, that is Honeyed Fantasy. Thank you so much for spending time with me. Thank you so much for listening to my thoughts. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day ahead, and we will be chatting soon. Se me cuidan, mi gente. Take care of yourselves. Ciao!
I smell good. Yeah, I do. I smell good, and I want you to smell good too. So, niche designer, Middle Eastern perfumes. Here's my review.